you ever met anybody that's passionate about something? How do you know? How do you know when somebody is passionate about something? Anything?
Live and breathe it.
Do what?
Live and breathe it.
Who said that?
Me.
Okay. Live and breathe it? Okay. You ever met a UK fan?
They're everywhere for some reason.
Huh? There's a few of those in this room right now. It's just what it is. So, I've got something here I want to show you. And it's in our youth room. And they hadn't put it up on the wall yet, so I grabbed it. It is called the timeline of the Old Testament. Now, I'm a geek. Shut up. I am a geek when it comes to stuff like, he's getting ready to say something. So, I'm a geek when it comes to stuff like this. I really like not to just read the Bible, but I like to know what's going on in the world when I'm reading the Bible. You know, I think that we have a separation sometimes. We think that the Bible is this standalone book that doesn't connect with the world. This Bible is about the world. I mean, guys, there's no separation in this. And I want you to think about, we're going to be talking about today about being passionate about something. I absolutely fell in love with Jesus. And I grew up in church, and I'm sure I've told you, many of you this story. Some of you know me, and maybe you don't know my background, but I grew up in church. I had good Sunday school teachers. I had a fantastic choir leader. I had a great preacher. Matter of fact, I had quite a few great preachers in my life. I had some good people in my life, and they taught me a lot of things. They actually taught me to believe that when you hear the story about Jonah and the well, that it is actually about a man being eaten by a fish. Now, too many in the world want to discount that and want to say, no, that's a metaphor. I just don't buy into that, okay? And I'm going to tell you something. Any man that stands up here and tells you that's a metaphor, y'all need to get up and walk out. Because a man got swallowed by a fish, okay? And I'm passionate about that story. I will continue to tell people that story. Am I too loud for y'all? Okay, cool. I'm passionate about those things. I grew up in a church that I felt like was passionate, but like many teenagers and young men, I got away from it. And you know, later on in our life, when Brenda and I got together, we got married, and we started having children. She wanted the kids to be raised in church, and thank God that we ended up back at my home church, which was not my plan, by the way. I wanted anything but to go back to my home church. I wanted to not go to church. And we ended up back in my home church, and you know what I ran into? Passionate people. Passionate people. People that didn't only talk about Jesus, but they tried to walk about Jesus, okay? People that had gifts, talents, and abilities, and they chose to at least try to use those. Listen, that's just going to sound bad, okay? Anybody go to like the softball, church softball league now? I wouldn't give you 15 cents for a church softball league. Because some of the things that I had seen come out of the Christian people that are there, it's not worth going to. But buddy, when I was a young man and I got turned on to Jesus, there was a Christian softball league here. And I can't tell you about any other church team, but I can tell you about ours. Our church team inspired me to want to be more like them. And I'm going to tell you something. It said something inside of me, friends, has lasted for almost 25 years now. Passion. Passion is an amazing thing. I want to show you a really cool thing. Check this out. Right up here is the book of Genesis. Everything was good. If you were to like break this open spot down into like little bitty segments, you could take about a gazillionth of an inch of this segment, and that's when everything was good. From here on down, everything went south. Everything went bad. People began to follow other gods. People began to want to be something that other than what God wanted them to be. And I'm going to tell you, I am so thankful that I grew up around, and when I became an adult, I met people that wanted to be passionate about Jesus. I saw people do things that the world would have said, talk to you about those kind of people. The person that God uses, okay? The person that God uses. And let me explain something to you in this room right now. Maybe you are here today for the first time. Maybe you are here for the umpteenth dozen time, but you still haven't plugged in. Let me tell you something. It is not about your talents, your gifts, or your abilities. God can use a donkey to get His word out. God can use anything. He can make the rocks cry out. Friends, let me tell you something. He doesn't need your talents, your gifts, and abilities. However, He gives you those for a purpose. When I was a young man, I played in bar bands. I think I shared that with some of y'all before. Before I came to know the Lord, I played in some bar bands, and I never did find my fulfilling. And then I became a Christian, and the next thing you know, God used me to become a pastor. And I'll never forget that one day, I'm sorry if you can't see me over there, but I'll never forget that one day I was in my first church as the pastor, and all of our piano players had gotten mad at me. Not mad at me, they got mad because our altar calls kept going for a long time, and one after one after one after one, 6 piano players all quit the church. Well, let me tell you something, it's a little tough to have a church service without a piano player. So I had to kind of revert back to a talent that God gave me. And I'll never forget, at the end of the sermon one time, there was nobody to play the altar call, and so I just began to play, and as I was playing, I just began to talk to people about Jesus, and just urging people to come forward and just do everything that I could to just let people know how much it is that Jesus loves them, and just urging them, please just stand out of your seat and just do what God is wanting you to do. And I noticed in the very back of the church, there were people that were beginning to snicker. And I thought, well, that's awful rude. Why in the world would anybody be snickering? And I was kind of upset, but a bunch of people began to come forward. And as people began to come forward, and people started getting saved, and people started laying their cigarettes down, and people started doing the most amazing things. And these people were still in the back, and they were laughing, and they were snickering, and I couldn't figure out what the world it was all about. And I'll never forget that after the service, I went and I confronted some of those people, and I said, what in the world is wrong with you? God is moving, and you are sitting there laughing. And they said, brother, do you have any idea what you were playing during the altar call? And I said, I don't know, and I don't care. And they said, go home and listen to the tape. And when I listened to the tape, this is what I heard. And the second thing is this, that person who has a life that is available to God. So I want to say it again, okay? A person who has a heart that is responsive to God. And a person who has a life that is available to God. Okay? I'll never forget the day when I stood up in Hartford Baptist Church, and I'd already talked to my pastor a couple of times, and I just told him, I said, I just know I'm supposed to surrender to ministry. And this is scaring me to death. It's scaring me to death. And he encouraged me. And I surrendered to ministry. One day I publicly stood up and I surrendered to ministry. Friends, let me tell you something. It was because me and God had been having this conversation literally my whole life about knowing that I would end up in this very moment, this very time, this very thing that I'm doing right now. By nature, I should probably be more of a music pastor. But God gave me a big mouth.
Amen.
Okay, I'll go with it. God gave me this big mouth, and He said, I want you to speak for me. And I'll never forget surrendering to that. So here's what I want you to do. I want to go through a journey today. Let's look at a few people, and let's just see about their life. Did they have a heart that was responsive? In other words, a heart that was not just hearing God, but a heart that would drive them to want to do whatever God was saying, and then a life that was available for God to use. Turn to the book of Isaiah, please. Isaiah, let me look at Bible. Israel had fallen under hard times. The kingdom of Israel had been broken into two kingdoms, the northern and the southern kingdom. You had Israel and then you had Judah. Okay? And it didn't matter which side you were on because both sides were beginning to do the same thing. They were following the world, following God. They were listening to the world say, Rodney, you're going to achieve something great if you choose to use your piano for country music or for rock and roll music or for whatever. Or, God, Rodney, you can go and be a lawyer, or you like to talk, you have a big mouth, you can go be a lawyer, or you can go and do whatever, and you can make all kinds of, say it with money. You see, that's what the world was trying to convince me of. And sadly, many people in the Bible, from the time we really leave the 3rd chapter of Genesis all the way through the end, people began to listen to what the world was telling them. And friends, that's not a heart that God can use. I don't want to hurt your feelings this morning, but I don't care to. If the world is our God, that means God is not our God. Understand? So Isaiah was given a very, very rough message that he was supposed to be preaching to the nations. And let me tell you something. It's always, I'm in an awesome church. You all actually like me, I think. Don't you? I like being here because I see smiles. I want you to imagine if you were in the world back in Isaiah's time when your God was maybe some idol, or your God was money, or your God was sex, or your God was this, or your God was whatever it was. And then this preacher comes strolling into town, by the way, anointed of God, and he begins to preach against the very things that you are living your life for. Man, that takes a very responsive heart and a life willing to follow God to do that. Let's just pick up in Isaiah chapter 6. It says, in the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord seated on a throne high and exalted, and the train of his robe filled the temple, and above him were seraphs, and each had 6 wings. With 2 wings they covered their faces, with 2 they covered their feet, with 2 they were flying, and they were calling to one another, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty. The whole earth is full or filled with His glory. And at the sound of their voices, the doorposts and the thresholds shook, and the temple was filled with smoke. Woe to me, I cried. I am ruined, for I am a man of unclean lips, and I live among the people of unclean lips, and my eyes have seen the King, the Lord Almighty. Then one of the sinners flew to me with a live coal in his hand, which he had taken with tongs from the altar. With it he touched it. He said, see this? It has touched your lips. Your guilt is taken away from you, and your sin has been atoned for. And then I heard a voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send, and whom will go for us? And I said, here I am. Send me. Friends, how many of us in this room have yet to say that very thing to God? Here I am. Send me. Friends, let me tell you, I'll never forget the day that I walked that aisle. Man, I could not wait for Brother David to shut up, because I just simply needed to give my heart to Jesus. I was like Tyler. I grew up in church. I'd even gotten baptized, and most people would have thought I was saved and I was tender. How did you say it? You were as lost as what? Last year's Easter egg, and I was right there with him. I was as lost as I could be. And I'll never forget that Brother David was calling out to people, do you need to come to Jesus? Is Jesus talking to you this morning? And I was back there saying, here I am. Friends, let me tell you something. When God begins to speak to your heart, that's your time to have a responsive heart. And go to God in that conversation and make sure you understand what He is asking you. God, what are you saying to me? It's a shame to go through this world thinking you're saved and be lost. You see, that was me. And I even knew it the whole time. I was lost. And when I say I was lost, friend, I not only knew I was lost, but I acted like I was lost. Here's where I have a problem at, is when we're saved, yet we still continue to act as though we are lost. Why an amen section in it? You see, a responsive heart is one that will hear not what Brother Rodney or Brother David or Brother whomever is saying to you on a week-to-week or day-to-day basis, or what God is whispering to you. A responsive heart is one that says, here I am. I hear you, God. I hear you, God. But then a life that is willing to follow through. Because you see, how many of us have this idea right here that God is speaking to me, and we grasp the seat in front of us, or we stand in church time after time after time, I'll say it again, after time, and we will not let go of that seat. And I'm going to promise you right now, a heart that hears God is what makes you grab that seat. Because let me tell you something, I stood in church many days just like this, and it didn't make no difference to me what was going on there, because my heart was not responsive to God. But you see, it has to go one further. It has to be a life that is available to God. You see, it's really cool when you're sitting there right now and you have a heart that's hearing everything that I'm saying, because it's not me that you're hearing, it's God that you're hearing. Somebody is in this room right now that's just like I was. I grew up in church. I knew the books of the Bible. I won a little trophy for being able to say all the books of the Bible. I'm telling you, I could sing. I knew every hymn that there was. If you said, go to victory in Jesus, I would say it's number 426 in the hymnal. By the way, you can check that out. In the Baptist hymnal, it's still 426. I was there. But then something happened and God began to speak to me. And my heart began to hear it. You see, that's a responsive heart. But friends, a responsive heart without a willing life will simply take you to hell. You know the cool thing about a responsive heart? When God began to talk to me, He didn't talk to me about my talents, gifts, or ability. began to talk to you simply about my heart. Son, your heart's in the wrong place. Your heart's in this world. Your heart's in your own life. Your heart's what you want. But it can't be that way in my kingdom. Your heart has to be in my hand. And you see, something happened to me. I let go. That's what a willing life is. One that says, here I am. That's the responsive heart. Send me. That's the willing life. Friends, I'm just going to ask you right now, just I want you to really think about this. How many of you in this room, you've been battling that same stuff for a period of time now? You hear God saying something to you. You hear it. You hear what He is saying. And maybe you've even said, oh, okay, God, I hear. But until you do something with that, friends, I'm telling you, you're not going to find the life that you want. Jesus said, I came that they may have life and have it more abundantly, or have life in abundance. And let me tell you, maybe you're in here right now and you're thinking, well, I haven't seen that abundant life ever since I gave my heart to Jesus. I've this, that, or the other, and I've just said, well, maybe you gave your heart to Jesus, but you haven't given Him your life yet. You see, giving Him your life is not just having a responsive heart, but having a willing life to say, I offer myself to you. I don't want this to come across regulatory, because it's not. It is not. Please, I hope you know my heart well enough to say this. But if I had not said, here I am, God, 25 years ago, if I had not said that, you wouldn't be sitting here in this church right now. I mean, I'm not saying you would be sitting somewhere. But I've seen hundreds of souls saved. Because God simply said, who will go? A responsive heart and a willing life. I want you to turn over to the book of 1 Samuel with me, please. Book of 1 Samuel. I want you to look at chapter 3. Let's look at another verse. Israel, once again, this predates the book that we were just reading a little bit, but Israel is in trouble. Guys, I want you to understand something. Hey, listen, let me give you a little history lesson. When you're reading this part of the Bible, it's taking place during this part of the Bible. Okay? So it's not like there's a bunch of things that, it's the prophets that we read about are actually prophesying, that their ministry is actually taking place right here in the earlier books of the Bible, okay? Pretty cool when you think about it. But so Israel's in trouble. The priests had gotten to the point where they didn't care anymore. They were all about themselves. They didn't care about the people anymore. They cared about God. I mean, they didn't care about God anymore. They didn't care about the people anymore. They cared about their own lives more than anything else. People are still seeing that very thing right now, friends. Let me tell you something. Pastors are validated by the number of people that are going to their church. Do you believe that? In this world, pastors are validated by the number of people that attend. Oh, he must be good. He must be. Simply because there's a bunch of people in the parking lot. I'm glad to have people in the parking lot. But let me tell you something. That's not my validation. My validation is because I said, here I am, Lord. That's what validates me. And when I hear God say something now, I try to do my best to continue to say, okay, God, I'm going to do this. The priests had gotten away from sharing the good news that was God to the people in the land. And because of that, God had to raise up a prophet. He couldn't just pick somebody your age, Tyler, because you know what? His life was already infected by the world. So what he did is he went to a young man and he said, I'm willing to wait on this guy. I'm going to grow him up myself. I am going to make this guy into the man that I want him to be. And I'm not even going to worry about what other people teach him, because I am going to teach this young man. And I believe with all my heart, he will say, here I am, Lord. Whatever you want, I'm willing to do. You see, he looked down and he saw a responsive heart of this young man. Let's take out 1 Samuel chapter 3. The boy Samuel ministered before the Lord under Eli, who was the priest. And in those days, the word of the Lord was rare. There were not many visions. Think about this. Why was the word of the Lord rare in those days? Because people really weren't caring too much about what the Lord said. They were focused on the world. What does the world say? Hey, eat, drink, be merry. Go ahead and do whatever you want to do, whatever you want to do, however you want to do. If it feels good, woo, let's be good. Do you think that message has changed? No, the message hasn't changed. You want to know why? Because it's still coming from the author of lies, and he doesn't change. So, one night Eli, whose eyes were becoming so weak that he could barely see, was lying down in his usual place, and the Lamb of God had not yet gone out, and Samuel was lying down in the temple of the Lord. Now let's just stop for a second. Let's just look at a contrast here about an available life and a responsive heart. You have the old priest, and the old priest was wherever he was sitting, and then he was doing whatever he wanted to do, and he was all about himself, he was all about this, he was all about that. Yet we see another person, the contrast of another person who was laying down in the temple of the Lord. Why? Because it says that the ark was there. In other words, the very presence of God was in that place that he was. His heart was responsive to God. He wanted to be close to him. Let me tell you something, friends. You ain't got nothing you can offer me anymore. This world has nothing that can offer me anymore. I would give anything not to have to do some of the stuff that I do on a daily basis. I sell coal mining equipment, and I can care less about coal mining equipment. You want to know why? Because my heart is right here. So he says, Samuel, let's see here. One night when Eli, whose eyes were becoming so weak that he could barely see, was lying in his usual place, the Lamb of God had not yet gone out, and Samuel was lying down in the temple of the Lord where the ark was. Then the Lord called Samuel. And Samuel answered, say with me, here I am. Let's twist the story. I'm not going to get very far back to it, but let's just figure the story out. So you're here today. And I do believe that God is speaking to you. Maybe not every one of you the same way, but the person that I'm talking about right now, or persons that I'm talking about, God is speaking to you, and He's simply asking for you to say right now, here I am. And just acknowledge it. That's it. You don't have to hop up yet. Okay? You don't have to do any of those things yet. But what God is saying is something to you. And you need to be that person that says, here I am. That's the responsive heart. Okay, God, I can hear you. I'm sorry, I'm driving crazy. I can hear you. Here I am. Let's engage in this conversation. Man, God has shown me some mighty things. I mean, mighty. My visions don't fit this room. And if you think that this is what Life Point is about, you're wrong. We're not a building. We're a body. And the body has feet and legs and hands and a heart. I see something bigger. And I'm so thankful that I was in a church that saw something bigger. So he said, "Here I am, Lord." Oh, he said, "Here I am." And he ran to Eli and he said, "Here I am. You called me." You see, he thought it was Eli calling him. And Eli said, "I didn't call you. Go back and lie down." So he went to lie down. And again, the Lord called Samuel. And Samuel got up and went to Eli and said, "Here I am. You called me. My son, I did not call you. Go back and lie down." Now Samuel did not yet know the Lord. The word of the Lord had not yet been revealed to him. And the Lord called Samuel the third time. Samuel got up and went to Eli. And he said, "Here I am. You called me." And Eli then realized what was going on. And he said, "Go and lie down. If he calls you again, say, 'Speak, Lord.'" Hang on. There's the responsive heart. "Speak, Lord, for your servant." That is a life that is available. Because you see, you cannot call yourself a servant in this room and not be available for God's use. And I'm sorry if that makes you mad. That's true. That's reality. Servant means servant. What does a servant always have over them? A master. What does a servant do? Serve the master. Darby and I were talking this morning about his ministry. His ministry. And he's just beginning to truly figure out what his ministry is. What's yours? I mean, really, what's yours? You got one. "Oh, I'm retired." So? You see, it takes a responsive heart and available life. Turn over to the book of 1 Samuel. Let's keep on going a little bit more. And look at chapter 16. "And the Lord said unto Samuel," now Samuel is an adult, and he is the prophet of the Lord in Israel, because it started back when he was a little boy and he was asleep on the altar near the ark, and God spoke to him and he said, "Here I am, your servant." So he had a responsive heart and available life, and we get to see the amazing things that God did. And I don't know about you, but I've always got excited about the things of the Lord. I get excited about mission opportunities. I just get excited. Listen to this one. "And the Lord said unto Samuel, How long will you mourn for Saul?" Saul the king had died. If you don't know the story, there was Israel wanted a king, and God said, "You don't need a king. You got me." Israel said, "No, I don't think you understand. We want a king." And then he said, "I don't think you understand. You got me." And they said, "No, God, you don't understand. We want a king." Hang on. "So we can be like everybody else." Don't think we're still not saying that today. Because we do it every day. We keep our faith under the table. See, that's the light. Jesus said, "Why would I give you a light when you hide it under a table?" Well, why would you hide it under a table anyway? It's because you're worried about what other people are going to say. Worried about what the other people in this world are going to do. Well, how are they going to treat you? Well, let me tell you something. This world ain't got nothing for me. It just doesn't. Oh, now sure. Next time you see me do that, if somebody stop me before and say, "We got the picture." Okay? So what it says? "How long will you mourn for Saul, since I have rejected him as king over Israel? Fill your horn with oil and be on your way." In other words, you know what? Don't be mourning something that wasn't my plan to start with. Get your horn, get excited, because now we're going to dive into my be king. But Samuel said, how can I know? Saul will hear about this and will kill me. And he said, take a heifer with you and say, I have come to sacrifice to the Lord. Invite Jesse to sacrifice. I will show you what to do. You are to anoint me for the one that I indicate. Samuel did what the Lord said. And when he arrived in Bethlehem, the elders of the town trembled with fear when they met him. And they asked, do you come in peace? And Samuel replied, yes, in peace. I have come to sacrifice to the Lord. Consecrate yourself then. And he consecrated Jesse and his sons and invited to the sacrifice. And when they arrived, Samuel saw Eliab and thought, surely the Lord's anointed stands right here. So I want you to think about Eliab. Eliab was the oldest son. And through Jewish tradition, he would be the one that would be expected to be the king. If anybody was going to be the king, it would be the oldest son. But by the way, he had a look about it. Oh yeah, man, he had a look about it. He had that look about it that just screamed king. Even to the point where Samuel said, I want you to look at him, buddy, that's quite the specimen right there. You don't know what his problem was? It was a heart problem. That's what it says. But the Lord said unto Samuel, verse 7, do not consider his appearance or his height, for I rejected him. The Lord does not look at things that a man looks at. Man looks at the outward appearance, but I, the Lord, look at the heart. So, he anointed David as king. I'll be done in a second, okay? But he anointed David as the king. And when we look at David, you can turn over and you can see a little bit about his life. When, a little bit right after this, when by the way he had already been anointed as king, he went out to a battlefield one day, and I've shared this with you before. He was going to fight. He was going to end up having to fight somebody that was 10 feet tall. Now, that may not sound like a big difference, but I'm 6 feet tall. Here's David and Goliath. I'm a foot shorter than what Goliath was. Goliath's head was right here. Now, if you're looking through the eyes of this world, it's a foregone conclusion that you're in trouble, buddy. Foregone conclusion, right? But God said, I don't want you to look at the outward appearance. I want you to look at a person's heart. But you see, you can read on over and you can see that David had come from a background of being a shepherd. And while he was a shepherd, he had to protect sheep. And when he had to protect sheep, what he had to protect them against was the things that would come into the valley of the shadow of death. Bears and lions. And it says that, you know what? As a youth, God prepared me because these would attack my sheep, and with my bare hands, I would defeat them. But let me tell you, I contend to you today that God only used the bare hands. It wasn't the bare hands that defeated the bear or the lion. It was the heart inside of David. Amen. How many of us have that very same thing going on? I mean, God is touching your heart today. And He's saying, son, step out. Step into what I have for you. But you look at the size of the giant, or you look at the size of the lion, or you look at the size of the lion, you look at all of that, but yet in your heart, you just can't get in. Remember, God said, I look at the heart, not the scrawniness of this person. And God was able to use him as king. And it's the only person in the Bible. The only person in the Bible. Listen, I'm going to tell you. There's not a greater epithet to be on your tombstone than this. David. A man after God's own heart. Because you see, if you have a heart that's responsive to God, you hear it. You have a life that's available to you, God can do something amazing. So I want you to think about that today. I can keep going, but I won't. I want you to realize that the Bible is filled with people who simply had an opportunity each and every day. I don't know who's who simply had an opportunity, and all that opportunity was a chance for you to respond in your heart to what you hear God saying. And then a life that's willing to follow through and do it. I want to share something with you today. The world thinks I should be rich. The world thinks that I should have all kinds of money and that when I retire I should have $1.6 million in my 401k program. And then when I die, somebody would say, "You lived a successful life." God doesn't always see things that way. If on my tombstone, somebody would simply come and say, "I was a life that was touched by this man. I was a life that was affected by this man." And if it's one person, listen, I know that sounds cheesy, but that's the truth. If one person doesn't have to suffer hell, and I never have $1.6 million in my 401k, then I was richer than the man who had it. But chose not to give his heart and his life to Jesus. Now I encourage you today, guys. And this is that time of the service that everybody says, "Well, it's for everybody else that's around me. We can get out of here, we can get on with our day, we can do all these things." And I said that for a long time, I really did. But I'm so thankful that one day that God simply said, "Right." And I said, "Here I am." My life's been a journey since then. I want you to hear something. Because I heard the name of Jesus here, as He spoke to me, when He said, "Rodney," and I said, "Here I am." One of these days I'm going to die. I'm going to go the way of my fathers, my grandfather. Go the way of our families and friends. And I'm going to be laid in the ground. And at some point in time in the history of this world, God the Father is going to look over His Son and He's going to say, "Hey Jesus, go get my children." And He's going to say this in unison. He's going to say, "Sherry, Kate, Jeff, Dean." I can just go through and say your name, maybe. But I know He's going to get to that moment in time when He says, "Rodney." And because I heard His voice 25 years ago, that day at Hartford Baptist Church, and because I said, "Lord, here I am," one of these days He's going to say, "Rodney, my lives that have been closed by death, and my my mouth that had been silenced by death, and my ears that had been closed by death, all are going to open at the same time. And instantaneously, out of my mouth, God will hear me say, "Here I am." And the sad thing is, if I end up in Oakwood Cemetery, Hartford, which I know Rodney doesn't, I don't know how many of those folks will be able to say that. But you know what? I'm not responsible for those folks today. I'm responsible for you. I'm responsible for what I say right now. So I'm urging you today, and I'm done. If you hear God speaking to you, I want you to just, under your breath right now, say, "Here I am." Here. That's a heart that's responsible. Okay? Listen to what He's saying. If He's saying, "Step out," give me your heart. Then have a life that's responsive and say, "Okay." And just simply step out. Somebody in here needs to do that today. Maybe more than once. Somebody needs to. And I'm just going to ask you today, would you be that one? Would you please stand? Would you bow with me? Father, I just want to come to you this morning. I am ever so grateful that 25 years ago, Lord, I heard you speak my name. Lord, though I had convinced the whole world, and maybe even at times myself, that I belong to you, I heard very clearly that day when you said, "Son, you're not mine. Rodney, I want your heart." I'm so very grateful, Lord, that I stepped out. And Father, I want to pray today, right now, for anybody that might be in this room. And Father, I realize that if somebody has just come in today for the very first time, maybe they're thinking, "Ooh, I hear you, Lord, but